quick video. Some prattling about with the front mudguard. I don't actually show the fixing process, but it was broken and I fixed it with super glue for now, which seems to have done, yeah, still firm, seems to have done the job. Right, I went out for a ride earlier because I was going to go over Jones's. Well, I did go over Jones's, but it appeared he probably was down the house, didn't hear me anyway. But a bit like myself, probably not having a very sociable day. Right, we cured the oil leak on the bike from the this cover in here. Hang on, I'll put the Blind Me You Dickhead 5000 on. There we go. So that covers oil tight, but I'm going to show you something now. Look. Yep. Red alert. It's still got a leak. And where I think it is, I'm not sure whether we're going to see, but if you can see down there, there is a bit of misting and stuff behind the alternator. So I'm thinking it could be the O-ring on the back of the alternator. There's a starter motor just there, and according to the Kawasaki service manual, you have to drop the engine to get that out. There is a potential leak there perhaps with the O-ring, but because this area, let me see if I can get you in and see if the light will adjust. Because that's a bit damp under the alternator, I think that might be our boy. So when I've got a bit of time, I am going to take that off, you moron. I'm going to pull the alternator and just make sure its housing and stuff's clean, because it wouldn't surprise me if this 30-year-old bike, it wouldn't be surprised me if the engine's been pulled more than once. And we'll just have a look, and it's a wise idea to do it anyway. By pulling the alternator out, two of the mounting bolts for the alternator are also the ground for the alternator. Same with the starter motor, it actually grounds to the cases, so you've got to make sure there's no corrosion or anything behind those bolts, and we've had corrosion on quite a few bolts, so it's a good idea for the health of the electrical system just to clean those mounting points up anyway. It's an easy removal. There's 3 bolts and she slides straight out, and then we can check the condition of the housing and all that lot. But that is my favourite oh, I've lost the word. What's the word? Suspect. Oh, boys and girls, listen. Ever since I've turned 49, my memory's gone. 19. It went to 19. So yeah, so I went out for a short ride. It was probably only 10-11 miles, and I don't know what's on the clock actually. Let's have a look. Come with me. 62. So it's only done 62 miles, including the ride to its MOT. Or did I zero it before the MOT? Either or. Now, the trouble is, when you've got a vehicle that's been stood for a long time, I mean, we estimate that this was between 4 and 5 years. Nice, new fuel cap. You'll see that on a little patchy video. I'm just going to stitch them all together and just whack it out there. The only trouble is with vehicles that have been standing and stuff, when they start to be used again, they can just show problems that probably weren't there when they were parked up, to be honest. It's just lack of use. It's the same with cars. If you buy, you know, the typical old lady owner car, which has only gone down the shop for cat food, you know, twice a month, when you start using it as a daily, problems arise. It's just what happens. That took some control. The Rover's the same. You know, Craig's mum only used it, I don't know, probably 10 mile a week, something like that. She only went into the next sort of town, do a bit and come back again. And when I started using it as a daily, I think I shocked the life out of it. But you know, it's getting used to it now, and hopefully in a couple of weeks it's going up Scotland. So videos are going to change over the next few weeks. I know Carl's got a Land Rover one he wants to do, because he's got to do his springs and he's got to do his bearings and what have you. But also, obviously, I'll film pulling the alternator, and we'll do the a little investigation into that, because I want to know where this oil leak is, because it's got absolutely no reason to leak, really. Horizontally split case, there's a chance that that could be weeping, but trying to look around these things while they're in the frame it's not always easy, and I really don't want to be pulling an engine if I don't have to. I think that's the culprit, because when I gunked that area the other day, I cleaned it up, and then obviously we had a tiny little bead of oil on the bottom of the sump which had ran down, and that some of that would have been the natural wash from the gunk. They're actually, yeah, see, I'm thinking now it could be that. I know or knew that it wasn't the bypass hole on the water pump. As I've explained before, the water pump obviously has an oil seal, because it's actually driven off the back of the oil pump. There's a little it's almost like a keyway cut in the back of the water pump shaft, and that engages in with the oil pump. So there is an oil seal, you know, obviously, to separate the two. But just in case that seal fails, there is a little bypass hole on the bottom of the water pump, and if the oil seal fails, the idea of it is it will let the oil go out of that hole instead of mixing with the coolant, and it's vice versa, it works the other way as well. If we've got a coolant leak, it shouldn't get into the oil. But also, if that O-ring on the alternator has gone rock hard and perished, which wouldn't surprise me, there is every chance that as the bike sat outside, or when I've washed it and all that lot, I may have introduced a tiny bit of water into the oil, which would also explain the slight mayonnaising I'm get. If I've introduced water, that's to be expected, until I can run along enough to burn it off or cure it. So we'll see. So I might just post this video as is, and then along with the taking off the front mudguard, lots of chuntering, and I'll replace the fuel cap. I mean, I went out on it today and she pulled like a train, but I've got to watch the tyre pressures. I had the wrong tyre pressures in, but you know, felt alright. I enjoyed myself. It was cold, I had my thermals on, but it was cold, but I enjoyed getting out. But the idea was, I was probably going to go over Craig's, and then we were going to go and have a look at the new bike shop in Inkley, but in the end I didn't go. I don't really like going places on my own, really, so I came home and farted about, and then noticed when the bike had been stood 10 minutes or so, there was literally a couple of little drops on the floor, and it's like, oh, here we go again. But it is what it is. It's part of doing stuff like this. You know, I know brand new bikes that can leak oil. You'd be surprised how many bikes like we can run in and stuff like that from all manufacturers that can sprout an oil leak well before the 500-600 mile braking period, well before, and head gaskets and stuff like that, because you know, a 2-minute run up in the factory, or, you know, 10 minutes in a dealer's yard going around the car park isn't going to highlight faults which were put in at manufacturer. Maybe they nicked a gasket or something like that. You know, it happens. It's going to happen, and it happens to everything. You know, I've known brand new aeroplane engines to seize up, and that's fun, especially when you're a passenger. But yeah, we'll see. Enough waffle. I'll bung this on YouTube now, you lucky people. And then we'll just carry on from there. I'll do another video when I take the alternator out. So yeah, so slightly different content in the next upcoming weeks. It's about 2 weeks till I go away, fingers crossed, and then I'm probably just going to do some mobile phone footage and then upload it as and when, because hopefully we're going up to Scotland, and show you a bit of the Highlands. If you've never seen the Highlands, we'll just show you where we go and a few of the roads, because the roads are just superb. They really are good. Really are good. But it's the scenery. The weather can do what it likes. So see you later, guys, and I'll see you on the next one, which hopefully won't be that long. Or do you want it to be long?